So we're going to find a nice little spot to sit here. These happen to be big wheels for adults. And this here is coffee for children and adults. And this here is a cat. That's a tiger stripe cat. And this here, in my little gardening, is that's the head of a scarecrow. And this is what happens to the scarecrow when he doesn't do his job right. He gets his head lopped off. Just kidding. I just put his head there in this little plant. Would you like to see the little plant that this scarecrow's head is in? You guys like dates? I mean, yeah, going on a date with a pretty lady is always nice, but I'm talking about the food. Dates. Dates are pretty good, pretty tasty. Not as good as coffee, though. You guys want to see my olives? See right there? Those are the olive berries. Now, olives, you can't just take them right off the tree and eat them because they're extremely bitter. They need to be processed accordingly in order to consume the olive. And then a lot of people have olive oil. That's taking the oil from the olive. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that one out. But how many cups of coffee does it take each day for the boogeyman to stay away? 0 cups of coffee because the boogeyman's not real. It sure is a great day, isn't it? Well, it is a great day, and I'll tell you why. Because God made the day and everything in it. And all the good, the bad, and the ugly, it all works for good for those who are God's subordinates. Okay, we got the hello. She is climbing against the wall. She loves it outside. And she's backing up, and now she's peeking over. Oh. She's the Chloe cat. She's the alpha female of the 3 cats. Well, of herself. Can you be the alpha of yourself? And that leads me to another question. There was a movie called The Holiday, I believe, with Kate Winslet, Jack Black, and Cameron Diaz and Jude Law. And basically, there was an elderly guy that was asking Kate Winslet's character, when she had exchanged her home in Surrey, England, for Cameron Diaz, whose character was a person that made the junkets, I guess. Anyway, so she's there meeting with an older guy. And dinner. They were out to dinner. And, she, I guess, needed some help and direction with her life. And this guy, who's like a writer and director in Hollywood from back in the 60s and 70s, told her, well, in the world, because like Shakespeare said, that the world is a stage and we're all actors on it. And basically he was like, in this world there's the supporting actress and then there's the leading lady. And he's like, well, you should at least be the leading lady of your own life, right? So I guess it's kind of the same way in every one of our lives. You can either look to God for help, which is important, and then from his direction, you do as he says, or you can care a lot about other people's opinions. You can care what other people think to a fault, and you can live your life in accordance with pretty much whatever way the wind blows you, Or you can be strong and steadfast and bold and righteous and stand for justice and love mercy and walk humbly with God. Did I say execute justice? Yeah, that's a big portion of the parts. Three parts: love mercy, walk humbly with God, and execute justice. And so people in this world that don't know who they are, then the world will try to define who they are. But people who know who they are, they don't look to the world to define who they are because they know who they are in the body of Messiah. So the Father sent them to earth and they made a connection with the Father after having been born at age, I don't know, 4, 14, 40, whatever. And when that contract was made, at that point moving forward, that person is in partnership with the Creator himself. So there's a lot of benefits and rewards for those who are God's subordinate children. And since this is like the fourth or fifth video I've done today, I'm going to cut it short and say one last thing to leave everybody with a thought, and that is at the conclusion of life, which could be, I don't know, for some people it's very young. You know, there's children dying of cancers, and I guess there's not really a lot that God expects from them because they didn't really grow into a mature age where they were then responsible to do certain things. So, you know, blessed are they because they get a pass and they are in God's good graces just automatically. That's awesome. But for people who are, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 plus and such, they are responsible and accountable to their creator. And if they established a relationship with their creator, with the creator's help, and they remain subordinate and faithful to the end, then they will receive a crown of life. Many other blessings and rewards are given. But if people decided not to, then they will suffer those consequences. All the things you can read about in the book of Revelation and within and throughout all the other books in the Bible as well. But I would say before you go to sleep tonight and for the rest of this week and this weekend, think about some things. Ponder them in your heart. Think about how much God loves you and what he expects. And with that, I will say shalom to all.